How's it going, everyone? This is Jabber 1008, and we are going to redo the Prison Architect how-to a third time. I just didn't feel like even the new one is really up to snuff on how I wanted it and how it was organized. I want to go with a little bit more structured how-to, still more structured than it already became with the second one. So we're going to go through, and we're going to go through piece by piece. We're also not going to stream this on Twitch. This will be just for YouTube only. So we're going to go through and how to build a prison step by step and how I would kind of do it. Some stuff might be a little bit out of order of how I do it. This kind of stuff will be more mixed in when you actually play through. But this how-to will show you how to do each section of your prison, each room, you know, how to build and be successful at building a prison. So for our prison, we're going to go with a large prison. We're going to have Fog of War on. We're going to generate forests. We'll have failure conditions, and we'll have unlimited funds. Now I realize when you play this you won't be using unlimited funds probably, but just for the example and just to keep us moving along, we're going to have unlimited funds. It's just easier to do, and it saves some hassle. So let's get started. Okay, and in this episode we're going to be covering foundations, materials, walls, utilities, grants, the admin center, and bureaucracy. So essentially getting started, so to speak. So first things first, we're going to actually pause this. You start off with pretty much nothing except for deliveries and a garbage area. We're actually going to knock off part of the garbage. Now when you build your walls and you build your foundations, it's good to have 2 wide tunnels, mainly because your main doors are going to be your large jail doors, and they are too wide, so most of your hallways are going to be the same width. You can build wider, and we'll get to that later. You can have more narrow as well, because all the other doors, except for the road gate, are 1 wide. But for main entrance, just for the flow of movement, we're going to have it be 2 wide. And then the next thing we're going to do, again, this is something you won't be able to do right away, but we're going to do it for the sake of this how-to and to keep things moving along. We're going to build a perimeter wall. Now, perimeter wall is very expensive, but also very useful. Now, it's more expensive and it takes longer to build. And as you can see, you get the wall plus you get paving stones on the outside. And the beauty of the perimeter wall is it makes it harder for prisoners to escape. It's harder for them to tunnel under. Now, drawbacks with the perimeter wall, you can't send utilities, underground utilities, right under your perimeter wall. So the same thing that keeps prisoner tunnels from going through the wall also defeats you placing utilities through the wall. We'll leave a gap for our main hallway. But we'll place that the whole way around. We'll let that start to get built. And we'll actually speed this up. Next thing we're going to do, this is falling under the materials theme of this. We're going to place paving stones under the garbage and deliveries area. We're also going to create an exports area here. Now the reason for this is paving stones have a walk speed of fast. They're one of the fastest things for outdoors. So we're going to place it where our workers are going to be walking the most so they can walk fast. A couple other things we need to add, some jail doors here. Now, that's in case prisoners get out into this area, slow them down. We're going to place them there, and this way your workers can go right from here, through here, into your prison. And we're actually going to place the perimeter wall like so. Actually, we don't want to do that. This is going to be just a fence. This is less expensive. It's easy to be removed later. So we're going to use a fence for there. Now, what we're going to do is actually enclose this main area, the delivery area, and we'll get into that kind of later when we get to contraband. But for now, we're going to close this in. And this will prevent prisoners from leaving this area. And we'll also add, for out here, we'll add road gates, and they'll go the whole way across your road, and they'll keep trucks from moving, but they'll also keep people from moving through areas easily. So we'll place a few of those. And obviously we have to add a wall here just to close it completely in. The road gate's just wide enough to get the sidewalk and the road, so you have to connect the wall there. And the other thing we're going to add is a main door to our prison, so we'll put a large jail door here. Okay, so we'll get to building foundations. Now the first thing we're going to build is our main hallway. Actually, first thing we're going to build is the pathway down to where we're going to put our utilities. So, we're going to leave a gap of 2 wide again, place a wall there, and we're actually going to take our foundations. Now, you can do brick or concrete, there's no appreciable difference. They do the same thing, it's just a static thing. You also have auto lights, and if you have this on, which we're going to leave it on, it'll automatically place lights. If you turn it off, it won't, and that comes into play later when you're using a clone tool, because the clone tool picks up everything. So if you're going to use a clone tool, it's good to turn that off when you're cloning. So now we need power and water for our prison, so we're going to place a power station and water in here. Now they can be placed outside, but just for aesthetics I like having them inside. I actually placed that wrong. Let me do this again. Like I said, they can be placed outside, but we're going to build a foundation around them. Like I said, it just looks better. So we'll build our foundation. Now, for your water, it doesn't matter if you leave space around it. However, for your power station, you want to leave space. And that is because next to your power station, you can build capacitors. And this raises the capacity of your generator. So we'll place a few of these. Actually, we'll surround this whole thing. We have unlimited funds. Gotta go wild. And then when you build any foundation, you need to put a door in. As you can see, it says requires entrance. So we'll place a door. Now this one's going to be a staff door. We don't want prisoners getting in here, but it's not a high security area. And plus, we're going to have stronger doors, preventing them to get back to this area anyways. We'll place a stronger door up here. Which actually makes me think. We'll do some walls here real quick. And we're going to do solitary doors. In case of a riot, we really don't want prisoners getting down this area. So that covers foundations. Now for foundations, you automatically start off with interior areas with one of the faster materials, which is concrete floor. It doesn't look great necessarily, like it's not a lot of character to it, but it is one of the faster options for walk speed. There's a few other options for indoor, and concrete floor is indoor only. It's essentially the equivalent of paving stones. Okay, it's gonna be built. Okay, so we have our foundations, we have our utilities. One thing we do need to run is utility lines. Now, your water needs to be hooked up to your power generator, but the capacitors will actually drop a utility, will drop a power cable when they're built, so it'll actually connect your water pump, so you don't need to worry about that. And this will be our main hallway, so we're going to run our utility lines right down here. So cable for the power, pipe, large pipe for the water. We'll also use small pipes, but that's more for hooking up toilets, shower heads, appliances that require water, like a washing machine. So that's how we place utility lines. Like I said, you can't place them through the perimeter wall. Not that we need to right now anyways. We will later, but don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. So next thing we need to cover is grants. And when you're first starting out, grants are very helpful and help pay for things. You can only take 2 at first, and then you can add a 3rd later, as it says here. Use your accountant to raise this limit. You can take a 3rd, you can max out at 3 if you've researched extra grant with your accountant. But for now, we can only take 2. And we're actually going to do Administration Center and Basic Detention Center. We're going to focus on the Administration Center, though, first. So for the Administration Center, we need to build 2 offices, hire a warden, unlock finance through bureaucracy, and hire an accountant. So offices obviously have to be inside, and they need to be 4x4. So since this wall will count, we need a 4x4 interior space, so we need to do a 5x6 foundation right here. And then we're actually going to do another 5x6. And we only need 2, but we got to think about expansion. So we're going to go through and build 4 to start off. We'll actually need even more later, but we're going to place them in other places. Some of your administrators have to interact with prisoners, so we'll place them closer when that time comes. And since we have unlimited money, and for the sake of time, we're also going to hire a bunch of workmen. Now, you'll normally be limited in daily salaries. As you can see, our daily cash flow is going down as we do this, and you'll be limited by that. But since we have unlimited funds, we can just hire a bunch. So we're going to go with 40. Again, something that you won't be able to do if you're playing for keeps, so to speak. But we're going to do it just to speed this up, because it will take a while to build the perimeter wall. One other thing we need to do too is we don't want to take any prisoners in yet. It's just not worth it. We won't have cells up or anything to hold them, so we can't take prisoners yet. Just let this get built. Oh, come on, finish one. Oh, they should be finishing this soon. We're actually going to have to place the wall because we built foundations next to foundations. It actually eliminates this wall if neither of them are finished. So we'll actually have to place the wall manually in there. And they are working away on that perimeter wall. That's one other thing. Perimeter wall will take a long time to build, and your workers will have to go really far out to build it. So it might take them a little while. It's something when I build a prison for keeps, I build it piecemeal as I extend my prison, and my cells get closer and closer to the edge of my map. I, eventually build perimeter walls, and when I start having that feeling that tunnels could become a problem. Otherwise, you can make do with fences. They're good for temporary instances, or areas that don't need to be that secure. I'll use fences, sort of like over here. This is a temporary thing. We'll replace it with something else later. They'll actually probably be mostly gotten rid of this fence. We'll build this out. Yeah, you can. You're still not done with this. Not sure what they need to finish. Sometimes this will glitch out when they're building. But we did everything right. Like if you don't have an entrance right away and you build one later, sometimes you won't catch it. We can add a staff door a while. So we'll have a wall here, and we'll actually want our entrance there. Let's see if that makes a difference. And we can speed this up too. Okay, and you see our foundation finished here. So we need to place our wall manually. And then this will be 4x4, so we'll go down here 5, place the wall. That'll be 4x4 on the inside. Go down another 5, place another wall, and so on. Whoop, place an actual wall there. Now our workers will get caught in there, just because it's enclosed in. A little trapped. But they'll place those doors eventually. Now, rooms. Placing rooms, you have all your options, and ones that are outlined in white are ones that will fulfill requirements that you currently have for grants. I'm surprised office isn't showing up as white, but we need offices, so... Oh, and we forgot a door, actually. So you place a room, and you can place it over walls, like I did there. If you take and select, and there's walls in between the walls, will break up the room into separate pieces like it did there, which is perfect. Makes it really easy placing them. And for our office, it needs to be 4x4. We need a desk in each one. We need a filing cabinet in each one. And a chair. And if you hover over the yield sign, so to speak, the alert sign, it'll tell you what you need. So it says office, desk, chair, filing cabinet. So we'll place our chairs. And then we'll hire our warden. Now it says it requires an office. Once they finish this, it'll change to his office, where our workers at. And they're probably finishing out this perimeter wall out here. As you can see, they're all building it right now, fairly quickly. They will get tired, but we'll get to that a little bit later when we need to. None of them are tired yet. Once they do a lot of work, they will get tired. Alright, looks like they should start coming back. We have some trees here, which will help with exports, which we'll actually place that real quick. The exports, when you build stuff in your prison, it'll go to exports. Garbage is just the trash, but exports is anything you make that can be sold. And any trees that we chop down right now will actually get placed in that category. Next thing we need to do is build our main hallway. Now, I build my cell blocks 12 wide, so we're going to do 1, that's 1, and then it's 11 of course for each one off of that. And we're going to do 4 wide, so we're going to do 44. And we're going to need a jail door there. As you can see, these guys are working very fast. This is very speed all the way up. And we have 40 workers. And you can see they finished the office. For some reason our warden chose this one down here. Now we have a warden, we can actually finish the rest of the stuff that we need for the admin center. So, this is your bureaucracy screen. Man, I can't speak tonight. So on the bureaucracy screen, you're going to have different things that you can research. It's just the equivalent of your research screen. And we need an accountant, so we'll research finance. Now, the way I'm planning to do this, we'll need maintenance next, then health, and then psychology. Just the way I'm kind of planning these episodes out and how I would do it. You need finance first just to fulfill the grant. For some reason it's doing maintenance first. There we go. I'll actually pause these so they go in the right order. Hopefully they go in the right order, but now we're doing finance. So our warden will research that, and while we're waiting on that, we can build out some more foundations. It's good to kind of plan your block ahead of time, how you want to build your first block. Now I do fairly big yards and make them like my central focal point. But for this, we're actually going to do... Now I do cell blocks of 16. Oh, I made that too wide actually. Cell blocks 16. I mean 16 cells. So this should be enough for that. I should continue that. We need to continue this. We'll build down. That might even be too much. Now I'm thinking about it. I think it needs to be 24 by 12. So our workers will finish out that foundation, and make sure, you know, it's wise to run your utilities ahead of time while they're building that before you build up too many walls. And the reason for that is just so you have it, when you start building your cells, you're going to need small pipe, and you're going to want lights. So it's good to get these built out ahead of time. And you can put utilities around top of each other. It might make it tough if you need to dismantle utilities later, if you don't want to break both your water and your electrical, but I just place them on top. Again, it's an aesthetic thing. One of the other things I'll run, since we're going to need a north-south route, not just east-west, we're going to have a double-wide hallway right beside here. And you can ignore what I'm good. This will be for later, but we're going to add some space here. Now what we're going to actually need, this will become our reception area. I'll get to that in a little bit, and we'll also need a holding cell for our basic detention center. Again, I'll get to that in a little bit. Finance is getting close. We can actually speed this up. And you can see our workers will build stuff pretty fast, and we'll add, as I said before, you need to add an entrance. Hopefully this counts. When you build an existing wall, sometimes it doesn't count it. Now it went away to require entrance, but sometimes this fails and it sticks. But it looks like we're good. Now these doors will stay open. doors will stay open until you get prisoners. You'll have to lock them as open once your prisoners start coming in. We can actually focus on building the rest of our foundations out, and this will become our main block. So let me think here. 3, that'll be a wall, so that'll be a cell. 2, another wall. Now, this is going to be 4 more blocks out. And this is how wide our yard's going to be. And we're actually going to build out some more. And I can't see. Well, we'll do it this way. That was what? 19 by 44. So we need to do the same up top. And this will become our main block once we start building all that out. Once we start doing a basic detention center. I think our accountant should be done. Okay, our accountant is done. We do want maintenance next, and then psychology and health. So I'll hire an accountant. And now we have an accountant in our office. So we just finished our first grant. We get the money. You get money. If it says you get an advance payment, you'll get some money when you take the grant, and you'll get rewarded more, just like we did there, when you finish the grant. So in this episode, we covered foundations, materials, walls, utilities, grants. Our admin center is now done, and we also covered the bureaucracy screen. And we'll cover all this stuff as we go along more. But we kind of got the basic gist and how you kind of want to begin your prison. And in the next episode, we're going to cover our basic detention center and how you get your prison up and running and start taking in prisoners. Again, I'm Jabber1008, and thanks for watching.